Here's something I haven't had much chance to talk about in a video. I am a huge Godzilla fan. I love Godzilla in all forms and mediums. I saw Godzilla -1 in theaters. It was amazing. My favorite film of 2023. I cried. To me, Godzilla is perfect. I love him from his most serious to his absolute goofiest. But the sad thing is that there are not many Godzilla games, and even fewer on PC. Wait, Wikipedia counts Gigabash? I mean, that's not really a Godzilla game? Godzilla, Gigan, Mechagodzilla, and Destroya show up there, but it isn't a Godzilla game, and this video isn't about that. Feel free to leave comments about Godzilla games. I could use the engagement, frankly. The point is, I'm here to tell you about an actual PC Godzilla game, and it's pretty new. Came out on Halloween of 2023. Here's why I love Godzilla Voxel Wars. So, what is this game? Did you even know it existed? Well, it is basically a puzzle version of Into the Breach, which is a pretty great place to start, considering how good that game is. I did a video on that game, if you don't believe me. Each level you are tasked with clearing the board of mushroom enemies and nests. If you clear the level in a certain number of turns, you get 3 stars. There are 240 levels across 12 islands, each with their own themes. As you start the game, each island introduces new enemies and friends. I would say that the largest difference this game has from Into the Breach is the summoning system, where Godzilla's friends come in. Well, some are foes, but are friendly in this game, like Ghidorah or Mechagodzilla. But you can drop them into the map when you collect enough G-energy of the correct color. This comes from destroying nests with the corresponding colors. Every monster has its own unique way of attacking and manipulating enemies. Their abilities are what you would expect if you know the monsters. Ghidorah attacks 3 spaces at once, and Hedorah leaves poison on the ground. Clearing a level is pretty straightforward, easy even, but if you want to get that 3-star rating, you have to know exactly how to use every monster to their full potential and use some out-of-the-box thinking. I will say that I struggled quite a bit on some of the later levels. Maybe a puzzle master will say this game isn't very hard, but it did make me feel stupid occasionally, but not in a bad way. I guess my brain just doesn't quite think the way they want it to. I will say, this game is not perfect. I see that not many people are talking about it. I even saw a Reddit thread complaining about it. I just think that this isn't the kind of game most Godzilla fans were looking for. I suppose that's fair. I know that I want a game where I can play as and fight any kaiju in the Toho library. Basically, the PlayStation 4 Godzilla game, but better. I bet that's what a lot of people want. You know, if you are a Godzilla fan, let me know what you want out of a Godzilla game. Maybe I just don't talk to enough G-fans. Well, damn. I have to add 2 things that were announced while I was working on this video. Godzilla has a Minecraft crossover that has cool kaiju fights, and Godzilla is coming to Dave the Diver, so I get it. It would be nice if we could just have a standalone game with Godzilla and pals. I still want to know what kind of games you'd like to see, but back to Voxel Wars. Making the game be Into the Breach, but a puzzle, is good and bad. The good is that the gameplay about maximizing the efficiency of attacks to damage, move, and protect objects on the board feels great. Doing the perfect move is so satisfying. The downside to it is that because it's a puzzle, there is a perfect solution. Part of Into the Breach that was great was that making a mistake wasn't the complete end of a run, and the game was about acceptable losses. Sometimes the perfect outcome to an especially difficult level left your mechs damaged or buildings destroyed. You can have your units hurt, but don't you dare let a building be touched if you want that perfect score. The other thing is that some of these puzzle solutions require perfect moves for 4 turns in a row, and while you do know what an enemy will attack, you don't know exactly where they will decide to move next, and if you misplaced a monster on turn 1, the perfect solution will be unachievable. It can make some levels kind of tedious. There are some things that mitigate this frustration, like 4 turns aren't that many to keep track of, just that they can get messy when you have to deal with 5 different kaiju at once. You can also roll back moves at any time, all the way to the initial placement, to test out all sorts of maneuvers without being punished. On top of all of this, there's hints. The title of most levels act as a bit of a hint, but there are further in-level hints. These hints are incredibly helpful, maybe too helpful, in fact. The hints aren't really hints so much as they just play each turn perfectly for you. See, look at this. This can be nice for when you're really stuck, but if you know you did turns 1 through 3 perfectly and just can't see the final piece, you have to use every single hint to get there. This ended up being quite annoying for me, because often I just didn't know exactly how to place my kaiju for the second move, and almost all of the time there's only one move you can make to start out, so you basically never need that hint. Then there are the underside levels, which I haven't played all of them yet, but they appear to be just harder than the normal levels, and assume you have knowledge of everything from those normal levels. Levels are also ranked in difficulty: easy, normal, hard, and very hard. I do feel like this is a little inconsistent. Some normal or hard levels can feel quite easy, but then others I stare at forever, just not seeing the solution. I guess this may depend on the person, but I don't really find those difficulties very helpful. Now, I mentioned the hints, but I didn't mention that each hint costs a G ticket. You get these tickets from beating a level with a perfect score, so you have to do well to earn your tickets to use hints. The other negative to hints ties into the ticket system. There is often only one viable move on turn 1, like I said, so you won't be needing that hint. But if you want hint number 2, you have to spend a ticket on hint number 1 first. There is another way to earn tickets: beating user-made stages. Yeah, you can make your own levels and play levels created by other users. So, there is theoretically limitless content. You can also use your tickets to buy themes for your levels, so if you want to build on the coolest environmental styles, you also need the tickets here. The rest of the good with this game includes the music, which is Godzilla music mostly, I think. There aren't a lot of tracks, and I am not 100% sure if there's original ones here. Maybe a Godzilla fan of higher caliber can let me know. I really enjoy the voxel art of this game. Godzilla is chunky and cute in this incarnation. I mentioned that I love any version of Godzilla, and I think that he's a great little guy in this game. And I'm happy anytime Biollante shows up. I love that freak Rose. The game is also simple to control, all mouse clicks. You can play this game with one hand, which normally carries a connotation, but I don't think that applies here. Anyway, I just enjoy this game. I'm a huge Godzilla mark, so I'm very willing to throw money at anything he shows up in. This is no different, but luckily, I think this game is quite fun. There is a lot of it. It will take you a while to beat the whole thing, if you also enjoy this kind of thing. So if you like Godzilla and puzzles, you kinda can't go wrong here. I don't know how much someone who doesn't care about Godzilla would actually get out of this game, though. The last point to make is that the game is $15, which I can see how some people might think that's too much for this game. I think it has a good value for that price, but I'm sure if you don't, you can wait till it's on sale and get it much cheaper. I hope all my fellow Godzilla fans enjoy. Howdy y'all, hope you enjoyed this video. I was pretty excited to do this one, to have a chance to talk about Godzilla. I am ready to talk about Godzilla anytime, any day, so lay it on me. I am often told by people close to me that I should do the YouTube thing, telling you to like, comment, subscribe. So why not smash those buttons and smash your keys in the comments section. If you want to leave a coherent comment, feel free to ask me a question that I will answer at the end of the next video. I got one question one time, so that was pretty fun. I do have another game on my list to do next, so get excited for that. I'm also hoping to do something a little different, a little more ambitious this year, but I don't want to make any promises, but hopefully you'll be seeing that in the future. Okay, see you next time!